Warriors, rise. Your banks are launching crypto. Are you ready? All right, Warriors, we're going to break that down today. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Before we kick it off today, I'm going to show you how your banks are involved in cryptocurrency. Don't miss the freight train wars. Join our private Warrior Academy. Access to my portfolio, access to my exact exit strategy, access to crypto 2.0 courses, DeFi, staking, nodes, mining, how to use exchanges. We are not financial advisors, not financial advice. You also have the opportunity to set one-on-ones with my research team, technical analysis team, and the leadership team. We have 5 calls per week. Support like you wouldn't believe. Also, we have a revolutionary 120-day challenge, subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision creation, exactly how I got my shit together. We're all going to rock it on January 3rd all together. Let's go. All right, so let's jump right into it, Warriors. So it's been a really crazy couple weeks, right? So I shared with you guys, stay calm, right? Stay calm, don't trip by the dip. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep dive here. We're going to take a look at what's happening in the marketplace. But what I'm going to do is I don't watch other YouTubers. I just don't. I don't watch other YouTubers. The reason why is because I don't want my mind skewed. All I do is our own research. And I want to give you facts, figures, numbers, logic. I want to give you a 30,000 foot overview so you can make informed decisions. Okay. I'm not asking you to believe a word I say. What I'm sharing with you is facts, figures, numbers, logic, and what's happening within the banking system. So if I was to pick an expertise for myself, it would be macro and microeconomics and the understanding of banking. I don't pretend to be some magical crypto expert. That's why my team has crypto experts, right? I understand a lot about crypto. I'm more of a Warren Buffett style investor in crypto. I invest in fundamental cryptocurrencies. I hold long-term and I exit the market as it goes up, not trying to catch the top. I'm very disciplined with that stuff. I'm also setting myself up for generational wealth outside of the academy so that my kids can prosper. My number one goal is to free as many human beings as possible. So I just want to bring you the facts, figures, numbers, logic. This stuff isn't super exciting, but it's what you need to know and understand. What are your banks doing? What is the government doing? What are they doing? That is the key factor, right? You can listen to all the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the media, but the truth is, when we look at documents, facts, figures, numbers, logic, they tell us what they're doing. So if you follow the breadcrumb trails and you get in there early, Warriors, you could be one of the richest people in the world. All right, so let's watch this quick video from Yahoo Finance, and then I'm going to take a deep dive into some of the things she said and the documents.
Welcome back to Yahoo Finance. We're going to take a look at the price of Bitcoin yet again. You can see it's actually bouncing back a little bit, getting close to that 49,000 level. But of course, quite the fall from the $57,000 price target price that we had seen on Friday. It was as low as 45,000, almost 45,000 over the weekend. And it's always the case that it's difficult to attribute exactly what's going on in the price to crypto to any single news item. But let's break a little bit through the noise and see if the regulatory headwinds in DC may be to blame. We've got Perry-Ann Boring, Chamber of Digital Commerce founder and president here on Yahoo Finance. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Of course, all this is happening ahead of that Wednesday hearing with the CEOs of Circle, FTX, others set to speak to the House Financial Services Committee. Is that the reason why we're seeing the price volatility over the weekend? How do you feel?
Okay, so he brings up a really good point there. Everybody's trying to identify where the volatility is coming from. Warriors, there's so much stuff going on. We got December 13th coming up, which is a debt ceiling meeting, right? If they don't raise the debt ceiling, the U.S. economy will collapse. They're going to raise the debt ceiling. We got the infrastructure bill. Okay, we got all this stuff going into the holidays. We got everybody in the Christmas spirit, and they do a lot of big switches when everybody's distracted with holidays, Warriors. A lot of the biggest switches are when everybody's distracted in the holidays. So listen to what she says. I love her analysis, like it would be analysis, and her 30,000 foot overview. Check this out.
Traders are kind of interacting with that hearing coming up this week.
No, this is a routine conversation happening with the House Financial Services Committee. The committee announced their agenda several months ago of what the priorities of that committee are going to be. Crypto has always been a part of that conversation. I do not believe that's what's driving the price action today. You kind of went through your graph there. Bitcoin is down 19% over the past month. But I would encourage you just to zoom out a little bit more. Bitcoin is up 152% over the past year. I'd also like to just remind everybody that Bitcoin has been the best performing asset out of all asset classes 10 out of the past 12 years that it has been trading.
Okay, so think about what she just said. Everybody's panicking. Oh my God, the crypto market's good. No, it's not collapsing. 152%, Warriors. It's gone up. Has your gold gone up 152%? Has your S&P gone up 100? No. S&P has been pretty much flat. Gold has been flat, right? Oil has gone down, and crypto has skyrocketed, Warriors. So you got to get out of this micro mindset of, watching all these YouTubers fudding you in, fudding you out. This is a long-term game, Warriors.
To have anywhere from 30 to 40% volatility in any given month, that is normal for Bitcoin. This is not a unique situation. This is a volatile market. Sometimes the volatility goes in a downward direction, but it has averaged 250% returns year over year over the past 10 years. Today, Bitcoin is undervalued. If you look at the models, it is undervalued today. So I actually see this as a buying opportunity. The regulatory conversations are an important part, but today's downward trend, this had to do with some activities happening in the markets. There was over $1 billion of leveraged Bitcoin positions that were liquidated. That's what is believed to have triggered this short-term decline. When those positions were liquidated, it also triggered a number of margin calls. And according to NYDIG, there's been about $2.5 billion of leveraged crypto positions that have been liquidated just in the past couple of days. So again, this type of volatility is normal. It's part of being in a volatile asset class. And that's part of the risk you have to take to invest in the best performing asset in the world today.
Hey, Perianne, it's Julie here. Is the leverage in the crypto world a problem? Is this something that various crypto trading platforms need to limit to a higher degree, or that regulators need to limit?
I mean, it's nowhere near as leveraged as the regulated financial system. I think that's really, a big part of the question the regulators are having today. What are appropriate reserve requirements? Just this summer, the Bank for International Settlements, the Basel Committee went through an entire framework to decide what different types of reserve requirements are appropriate for different types of digital assets that banks will be involved in.
Okay, so that's really important. That's what I want you to hear out of that right there, okay? So she talked about the BIS, Bank of International Settlements. I showed you yesterday, Jerome Powell is part of the committee from January 2020, the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, okay? She talked about Basel, right? So Basel III rules changed, I think, July or August for gold on reserves. Warriors, people that are telling you that cryptocurrency is not here, they are literally coming up with the reserve requirements for banks to hold your cryptocurrency. So what does that mean? The banks have to have reserve requirements for the riskier assets on reserve, whereas it's already done. Your banks are on board and you're being flooded out. So look who she is, right? She is the head of this right here. So she's a Chamber of Digital Commerce. And I just want to show you the people who are part of the Chamber of Digital Commerce. Accenture, right? We got Binance, we got Citi, Discover, right? We got IBM, we got MasterCard, Microsoft. Oh, there's Ripple, right? The biggest SEC lawsuit in history. We got Visa. They're in the top echelon here. We got Algorand. And these sound familiar, Warriors? Algorand, Who else do we got here? Who's some things that stand out? Wells Fargo. Wow. Yeah, your bank is not getting involved in cryptocurrency. We got Stellar, XLM. So two of my favorite cryptocurrencies, XLM and XRP. And people keep asking me, oh, XLM's not doing anything. I am not selling my XLM wars. I have an equal amount of XRP and XLM. I believe when XRP goes parabolic, XLM is going to follow it as the brother or sister. Let's see if we got any other juggernauts in here. Anybody else that stand? NASDAQ. Whoa, look at, Warriors, you can see that your whole system is shifting. Your whole system is shifting. Okay, so she talked about, she's from the Digital Chamber of Commerce. We see who's connected with them. Now, I actually went to CBA Executive Banking School. This is a CBA Consumer Banking Association. Now, I think, oh, there's my manifestation alarm. Thank you for the 1 million a month in income. Thank you for the steps to 1 million a month in income. Very important that you ask a question. Thank you for the steps to 1 million a month in income. Thank you for the steps to 1 million a month in income. Hold it for 17 seconds. And let it go. Okay, Warriors. You got to do it. You got to do it. 7 o'clock. All right, so let's get it going. Okay, so let's read this letter right here, okay? Both public and federal banking agencies benefit from the increased involvement by banks offering digital asset products and services. Banks are already subject to comprehensive, robust risk management, supervision, and examining processes, and subject to consumer protection laws and regulation, maintaining strong capital buffers, carry deposit insurance, undertake well-developed anti-money AML, anti-money laundering practices, and KYC, know your customers, and have substantial experience while incorporating new technologies into a financial system. Banks have the resources, talent, expertise to implement robust compliance programs, which is especially important with the respect to digital assets, which present novel anti-money laundering risk. To encounter banks to provide digital asset products, federal banking agencies should clarify and expand existing supervisory guidance to clearly and ambiguously state the bank are permitted to engage in the activity regardless of the involvement of digital assets, so long as the bank has the power and authority to provide a particular product and service and continues to operate in safe and sound manner. Develop a regulatory framework for banks to independently apply the treatment of digital assets. That's what the XRP SEC case is all about in America. It's to bring in regulation. I'm going to keep repeating the same things, whereas what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. I want you to be able to let this come off the top of your head. So when the market gets flooded and everything starts to collapse, you sit like a tick on a dog because you understand what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, we know this. The OCC, this is November 23rd. This is just recently before Thanksgiving, November 23rd, 2021. OCC, Operation of Currency Control, clarifies bank authority to engage in certain cryptocurrency activities and authority of the OCC to charter national trust banks. Okay. Shortly after taking office, acting comptroller Michael J. Hoos announced a review of the OCC's interpretive letter. We've gone over that before in my YouTube channel here. Today's letter clarifies that the activities addressed in the previous interpretive letter may be conducted after a bank notifies its supervisory office of its intent to engage in these activities, and after a bank receives written notification of the supervisory office, not objection, the bank should not engage in the activity until it receives not objection. So basically, they're allowed to submit letters now to say, hey, listen, we are ready to rock and roll. We're ready to go. We're ready to get Ripple. I'm just going to throw it out there. We're ready to get Ripple, API keys in our bank, and let's go. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday, Warriors. I feel personally that if federal credit unions don't get on board, like think about it, they have to, Warriors. How are they going to survive this? Liquidity crisis. If interest rates start going up, borrowing is going to slow down. Right? The fee structures are going to have to change. Are they going to be able to survive the big changes? They're going to have companies like Ripple that have the API keys to get them up and running in 2 weeks. Banks are not going to be able to afford to change the whole infrastructure. They're going to have to have more what do you call it? Not liquidity, but like Basel. They have to have physical gold for riskier assets, right? And then they're going to have asset requiremements for digital currencies, Warriors. So fees are going to be very important. So we're going to dive into the BIS just a little bit more, and I just want you to hear from the horse's mouth, the BIS, of what they're working to do with CBDCs.
The greatest potential for improvement is offered by a single CBDC system that features a jointly operated payment system hosting multiple CBDCs. Now, one possible concern with cross-border use is that a foreign CBDC would encroach on the domestic currency and lead to currency substitution. Currency substitution would be less of an issue for a digital ID-based design, as the issuing central bank would have to accept users as part of the CBDC network. The host central bank would also have some discretion through domestic regulation. For all these reasons, the image of cash circulating in briefcases in the black market is not a good analogy for the cross-border use of CBDCs. In any case, it's worth bearing in mind that currencies become international currencies because there is a user case, for instance, for trade settlement. Merely being digital is not going to make a currency an international currency. So let me conclude. CBDCs could form the backbone of a highly efficient new digital payment system by enabling broad access and providing strong data governance and privacy standards resting on digital ID. They're the best way to promote the public interest case for digital money. And in this sense, CBDCs are an idea whose time has come.
Oh, I'll leave it at that. CBDC's time has come. I mean, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it was just like, hey, this might be happening. I was just sharing documents with you guys. And now they're saying we need to move fast. Letters like this right here. You need to move fast. This is a letter saying, hey, listen, we need to get our shit together, warriors. They're telling them they need to, this is to the FDIC. We need to get our shit together. We need to get banks up and running. OCC says, yes, you can do cryptocurrencies. You just got to let us know. We'll give you the approval. And basically, they need companies like Ripple, all these companies to help them get up and running, warriors. But let's check this out. So I want you to see something called Project Dunbar, okay? So this is the type of stuff they're working on right now.
Cross-border payments can be slow and expensive, but does it have to be? Domestic payments are usually fast and inexpensive because most banks connect to a single national payments platform. But there is no single international platform for cross-border payments. Instead, to make cross-border payments, banks need to hold foreign currency accounts with banks in other countries. This is the decades-old model of correspondent banking. A single cross-border payment may pass through multiple correspondent banks, adding costs and delays along the way. But what if we could merge all these separate banking systems and bring them onto one single common platform? That's the goal of Project Dunbar. We're exploring the benefits of a single international payments platform, similar to the national platforms that many developed economies rely upon. This single international platform will connect multiple central banks and commercial banks. Each central bank will be able to use this shared platform to issue their digital currencies, or CBDCs. Banks can then use these CBDCs in multiple currencies to make payments to each other. These payments would be direct from bank to bank with no intermediaries. This streamlined process means payments will be cheaper and faster. Let's see how it works step by step. First, central banks issue their CBDCs, representing different currencies on the shared platform. Banks will be able to hold and transact with both local and foreign CBDCs. Local banks can exchange for CBDCs using their central bank balances on domestic payments networks. Non-local banks will be able to exchange CBDCs with other banks and hold CBDCs even from countries they do not have a presence in. As a result, it will be possible for all banks to pay each other directly in all the different CBDCs. However, while we can look forward to streamlined, cheaper, and faster cross-border payments, there are challenges to overcome. The first challenge is governance. How do we get multiple central banks to share a common platform? Who will own and operate the platform? Can we resolve the national security concerns that come from sharing critical infrastructures with other central banks? The second challenge is access. How do we allow non-local banks to access and make payments with CBDCs? Can central banks trust banks from other jurisdictions when they do not supervise those banks directly? The final challenge is regulations and jurisdictional boundaries. Payment regulations are different in each country. So how do we simplify the cross-border payments flow while respecting these differences? BIS is working with multiple partners to solve these challenges.
Let's just stop right there. Accenture, R3, Ripple. Think about that, Warriors. You guys have all seen that document, right? Just let this sink in. Warriors, you're invested in one of the best digital assets in the world, even cryptocurrency alone, Warriors. You guys are so smart. You guys are so amazing. You're so far ahead of the curve. You're a powerful human being. Do you realize you've been divinely directed, divinely led to this moment in time? Don't let this time slip away. Do not let people fudge you out. Look at that screen, Accenture, R3. We've all seen that, right, Warriors? You've seen that thing, Accenture, R3, JPM, Ripple, Algorand, Stellar. We're invested in the best digital assets in human history, Warriors. But I'll just remind you, Ripple pilots a private ledger for central banks launching CBDCs, Warriors. We've seen this over and over again. There's no reason why we can't revisit this. Like, think about that, Warriors. What does it do? Man, what does this do? Take a look at this, Warriors. The CBDC private ledger is based on the same blockchain technology that powers the Xrpl, which means the CBDC private ledger is built for payments. This also means CBDC private ledger is designed for issuing currencies, with over 5,400 currencies issued on the Xrpl over the past 8 years, including native digital token XRP, which can be leveraged as a neutral asset for frictionless value between CBDCs and their currencies. Moving money on the CBDC private ledger will be cost-effective, reliable, and close to instantaneous. Transaction can also happen at volumes required by a central bank. The central bank CBDC private ledger will handle tens of thousands of transactions per second, TPS, initially with the potential to scale to hundreds of thousands TPS over time. Transactions on the CBDC private ledger are verified by the same consensus protocol used by XRP Ledger, which is far less energy intensive and therefore less expensive and 61,000 times more efficient than the public blockchains that leverage proof of work. In addition to leveraging the XRP ledger technology, the CBDC private ledger is also supported by RippleNet Technologies and the Interledge suite of protocols to enable ultra-high throughput use cases such as micropayments. The CBDC private ledger meets even the highest security standards of central banks. They are the highest level of security of central banks, which each have completed sovereignty and the ability to customize based on their own unique privacy and policy requirements. What did she say in there? That's their biggest issue they need to solve. The core technology behind the new CBDC private ledger has been running for more than 8 years without incident and with billions of dollars of value transaction daily. So who would you go with if you were a CBDC company? The person who's had 8 years of transactions with 0 incidents. Do you know how many incidents there are with the SWIFT system, Warriors? Do your research. Ripple is going to change the world. So, Warriors, this is your time to join our private Warrior Academy. Click the link down below in the description. You will see everything that comes with the Warrior Academy. It is so unbelievably undervalued, just like XRP. As we always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.